Hey everybody, welcome to the Soulful Eclectic. I am your host, none other than Dr. Diana Collins. And for those of you who don't know, I am a nurse practitioner, nurse educator, an actress, a veteran, a creator, a mom, a wife, an advocate. I'm just a little bit of everything. But I want to welcome you all to today's podcast. If you are joining us for the first time, well, welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time out to be here with us today. I really appreciate you taking the time out to listen, give feedback, all those great things. If you are returning, well, welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for just taking the time out to say, hey, what's up? How you doing? I see you. All those beautiful things. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. You guys all know that when I started this podcast, it was just mainly for me just to share, to be, and just to have a voice and just to do something new. So I thank you all for rocking with me for all this time. Thank you to WUBI Ubiquity Radio and TV for just creating a space for us as creatives to be present. And also thank you to all my guests that have come on and just shared their stories, shared what they're doing, or just to sit and have a conversation with me. I thank you so much, from all of you, even if you come back for a second and third time, I appreciate you. Thank you to our author, our resident author. I call her our resident author. I don't know if she views herself as our resident author, but I see her as our resident author, Miss Reggie Dupree. Hoodoo Heaven, Return to Hoodoo, Mystical Midlife Mate. If you haven't, check it out. And there's another author that I love, and I'm trying to get her attention and get her to come on a podcast too, Jessica Cage. If you out there, I'm looking for you, and I'm trying to reach out to you because I love her series too. Jessica's got a mind. If you are into sexy, erotic, fantasy, all those things, she has that going on. So Jessica Cage, I see you. I see the magic in you. And I've read at least 4 books that she has written. And I loved them all. They are just great. And I thank you. So Jessica, if you would like to be a resident author on our podcast too, please join us. I would love to have you. And I'll keep reaching out to you in your DMs. I'm not a crazy stalker woman or anything like that, but I love what you're writing and I want you to keep writing it. So I want to just have that conversation with you. So thank you. Thank you to Divine Nubian Essentials. Loving the skin you're in. If you guys have not seen, look at the skin. Oh my God, it is on. I love it. So Divine Nubian Essentials is all natural, vegan, 100% made by moi. And I love it. I swear by it. I wear it. I use it in my hair. I have hair products. I have a skincare line. I honestly don't use anything else on my skin. I even have an infant line too. Aya's Heart. And that's what my grandson calls me. And so, he has his own line for skincare, and he uses it every day. I swear he's going to have the best skin, okay, for an infant. He has the best skin, and he will continue to have the best skin. Because I don't think I ever shared with any of you, but I had the worst skin growing up as a kid. I had the worst acne. I was teased terrible. And so my strive is to correct these uneven tones and, blemishes as naturally as possible. And I think I got something going on here. So Divine Nubian Essentials, if you haven't tried it, give it a try. And also Collins Education Resource Management, right? Collins Education Resource Management. I tell you, we are here to help guide you in this healthcare arena as you're navigating this crazy space on becoming a healthcare practitioner, whether it's being a nurse or whatever, a medical assistant, you name it. We are here for it, and we're here to help you and help guide you through it. Let me pause for 1 second and I'll be right back. Thank you for allowing my little pause break for a minute. I had a commercial playing. I don't know where the commercial came from, but it was playing in the background, so I had to go stop that. But anyways, so thank you to Collins Education Resource Management, who is here to help guide the future nurses of America, and beyond. I say and beyond because I've helped students that were, I think the one was in Thailand, which was pretty awesome. And the other one actually reached out from Ethiopia, so that was good. That was amazing. So those were both. I've had completely amazing experiences with nurses, but and nursing students, but those were really impactful for me. So thank you to them. Thank you to Neeks Beauty Supply. As I told you guys, Neeks has been so gracious as to grant me space in her beauty supply store here in Tucson, and it is a Black-owned, female-owned beauty supply store here in Tucson. So if you have not, and you're here in Arizona, and you're here in Tucson, please go check it out. She's off at 22nd Street here in Tucson. Grace her with your presence and just tell her I said hey from me. So thank you to all you guys, and of course, thank you again. I can't thank you enough to WUBI Ubiquity Radio and TV for having a space for us new individuals who are podcasting, who are doing films, who are DJs, all that space. If you're looking for a place to air your creativity, whether it's a film, whether it's a music video, whether it's a podcast or a series, whatever it is, reach out to us on WBI.live and we'll be happy to guide you, or just inbox me and I can definitely share the information with you however you so fit see it. So thank you. And then, of course, and if you want to be a guest on the Soulful Eclectic, please feel free to send me a message. As you can see at the ticker in the bottom, it has all the information for you to reach me. Definitely, I want you to like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment, all those things, send me messages. But if you need to and you want to be on the podcast, just reach out and send me an email at dc@thesoulfuleclectic.com. That's dc@thesoulfuleclectic.com. You can go on my website, that's the www.thesoulfuleclectic.com, and also find me on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. I'm on all those social media. So yeah, oh my God, that was like a mouthful in itself. But yes, I wanted to just definitely get all the logistics out before diving into today's topic. So as I said, welcome back to the Soulful Eclectic. You know, it's none other than me, Dr. Diana Collins, and yes, I'm a doctor of nursing practice. If you haven't checked out, I have I call it poem, spoken word that I did on TikTok and Instagram. I'll post it on my website as well, so you guys can take a peek. As you guys know, sometimes I do try to write and do a couple of poems, and I'm trying to get back into that creative space. I think I've been out of it for a little bit for different reasons, as far as being busy and acting and filming, so working. So there's just been a lot, and there's always something, honestly. So, but I just never want to not do my podcast. I've been missing for 2 weeks, and I do apologize for that. I'm having some really big computer issues, and I swear I am working on getting a new computer. As I tell you, I am not getting any pay through this. There's no Patreon or anything like that. I don't even know how to do that. My husband keeps telling me to do Patreon, but I'm like, yeah, I haven't gotten to that point in doing that yet, and I will. But yeah, so thank you guys for joining me. As I pointed out and I stated earlier, I am a nurse practitioner, an educator, mom, a wife, a grandma, a veteran, an actress, a creator, an artist, an advocate, and I think I'm just a woman that Listen, I want to say just. I apologize for saying just because I'm not just anything. But I am a Black woman who has lived and breathed science and the soul of nursing for 2 decades almost. I think next year would be 2 decades, literally. And today's episode really speaks to me. It hits deep. Okay. So, yeah, we're just gonna just dive into it because it's gotten a lot of people in an uproar, and I've had some individuals in my personal circle ask me questions about this whole Department of Education and denouncing the fact that nursing is a profession. So what we're talking about when it comes to the Department of Education's their newest stance on the exclusion of nursing from being categorized as a traditional profession um, is disturbing. It's disturbing at best. And there's a lot of us speaking out on it. The American Nurses Association definitely has something to say about it. I know NISNA, New York State Nurses Association, which speaks volumes to me because that's my home. That's where I grew up in nursing. I started in New York. So I still follow NISNA and how they are navigating this space of changing the trajectory of nursing. And to me, I think it's just a slap in the face. And it's a political tool. And when I first heard it, I have to say I was in a tizzy. I called my husband. I said, "What the hell is this?" And he says, "You're on social media again. Get off of social media." I swear, that's exactly what he does to me. He goes, "Stay off social media." Whenever I tell him, "Did you hear? Did you read? Did you see?" Because he knows I don't watch the news on a regular basis. So he knows if I say, "Did you hear?" He knows I would probably seen it on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, something. Somebody posted something about it. But yeah, so yes, I did see it. I did hear it. And it's funny because it's just after I did my poem about being a doctorate in nursing practice. And then I'm like, what? It's not a profession. Let's not get it twisted, okay? And my husband and I had a conversation because I don't know if you guys remember, but we're both nurse practitioners. He's a family nurse practitioner. He works in palliative care here in Tucson. And of course, I'm an acute care nurse practitioner and I teach nursing. Um, and so we both have this vested interest in the changes that are being made. And one of the things that we both said is like it's not changing the fact that we're a profession. It's changing the fact that they don't want to pay for us to get the profession. Department of Education is not allowing for financial aid. And there's a bunch of other skill sets that don't qualify for financial aid. And I'm not sure if a lot of people realize that. And I had to do some digging to really learn this too. And that is there's a lot of things that we go to school for, and many of them are not classified as a profession and do not grant you the ability to use financial aid to get your degree. So what it actually is doing is just saying that is not including us in that professional list of abilities to get financial backing. It's not saying that you cannot pay for it yourself, but they know the impact that it will have on the people who are women, individuals of color, who are predominantly the ones in those professions, in that workforce, and it will impact greatly on many of us in that who have not finished or who plans to attain a degree and use financial aid. So for those of us who have given our time, our degrees, our hearts, and in many ways, pieces of our lives to this work, it feels like a slap in the face for them to say that your profession, you don't have a profession, like you don't matter. But as I pointed out, I was just reacting, right? Today it was a reaction, but we're not just reacting. We're reframing. We are reclaiming. And We are rising, and we are rising. Yeah, I don't know. It I, many of you may know Maya Angelou's "Still I Rise." Oh man, I'm gonna put it in our notes too, so that you have it. And um, you know what? I'm gonna do something because it just came to my mind as I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, Maya Angelou, "Still I Rise," and I think it's fitting. I really do, because in this poem, and I'm just gonna just read. Um, I, yeah, it bringing gifts. This is the part I want to read. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise, and um, it speaks volumes to me. And that was just like the end of the poem. Um, and for me, metaphorically, I know for this, I'm going to use it in a metaphorical sense, but I know how Miss Angelou meant it when she wrote "Still I Rise." But when we talk about being a slave, let's reform it just a little bit. Being a slave to this economy, being a slave to political ploys, right? Because right now we're a ploy. Holding our degrees the way they are is a ploy. It's a ploy to hurt, to demean women. It's a ploy to hurt and demean individuals of color. And yeah, we're going to rise above it. So let's get into the segments just really quickly. So what's behind the Department of Education's position, right? Talked a little bit about it. Department of Education wants to recategorize nursing and as not a profession. So their categorization may look like a quiet bureaucratic shift on paper, right? But in reality, it carries a lot of weight. It shapes what the public perception is of our profession, and that's nursing, is teachers, education, it's social work, physical therapy, all those things. Those are like the cogwheels to the foundation of a working building, a working unit. That's like taking the springs out of your pen and then telling you to go write a story. Well, you just took a fundamental part of what I need to make this work, right? So there's that. Pause for 1 second. Much going on, but yes. So as I was saying, right, this bureaucratic shift is just not quiet, right? It carries a lot of weight. It shapes the public perception of who we are as a profession on all of this. And we're in a time where we are already battling a lot of things with this administration. This just adds one more thing to throw us off the topic of what's actually happening in the office. And this here is it. It shapes the public's perception of who we are as a profession, as a group of people. We already have a level of disrespect that comes with being in healthcare because of the lack of caring and accountability of the insurance company, big pharma, all these things, right? They all play a part in it. And because we as nurses are usually the first faces that patients see, we get a brunt of a lot of it. It influences a lot of funding that we get in healthcare. So it does play a part in what we have. So the grants and things that we do for public health get cut, especially if they're nurse driven. Um, I am going to as you can tell, I'm going to preface everything in a nursing perspective, but those other professions too, I don't discredit them at all. So please do not take it that way. Right now, I can only speak to the profession in which I have a career in, and that is healthcare, that is nursing. But of course, if they are defunding education and our teachers already don't get paid enough. And I happen to be a nurse and a teacher, right? So we don't get paid enough for the things that we do. And now you're degrading the fact that we're a profession, and now you want to take that away from us, further devaluing who we are. It changes the academic pathways in which the students are going to take. It impacts funding for these students. So many of us who have gone into these healthcare or into these professions, and I'm going to still say them as such because they are that, a profession. So many of us that have gone into these professions have needed the help of financial aid and Pell Grants and all these things to help fund us to get through these education endeavors, right? To get through higher academia, we needed these things for funding. So they already took away affirmative action. They took away DEI. So now this is the next thing to go in because again, it's predominantly women and individuals of color that are in these professions. So it impacts the pathways that we are driving us in academia, and it decreases the number of us that are able to do it, because now it's not saying that you cannot pursue a degree in these professions. What it's saying is financial aid will not be covering anything related to these professions because it's not considered a profession. But if you are able to pay for it out of pocket, again, I just had this conversation with someone today, and if you can able to pay for it out of pocket, by all means, you still can do this. But let's be honest here. How many of us went into this career with the ability to pay for it out of pocket? We went into it looking with the aid of financial aid and government assistance to help pursue these degrees. The other thing, it reinforces the outdated hierarchies that have been always undervaluing nursing, right? Always. So we hear that and we see that, and oh my gosh, it boggles my mind, and it's raining really hard outside. So we got some good ambiance going on here. So yeah, so there is that piece of it too. So let's call it what it is. Another reminder that society loves the outcomes of nursing, but often fails to respect the expertise of the nurses. But here's the truth of the matter. Nursing is a profession and will always be classified as a profession. We have fought diligently for it to be acknowledged as a profession, academically, legally, clinically, and spiritually. We don't need and don't require the Department of Education to validate who we are and how we've lived our lives every day within this profession. So I just want to say that because I will always see myself as Doctor of Nursing Practice, Dr. Diana Collins, a nurse educator, as well as an acute care nurse practitioner. As long as you're still requiring me to get my clinical hours in, you're requiring me to help uphold my education status to maintain my degree and my skill set. You're requiring me to take an exam to register and to certify that I am able to carry out these, then yes, by all means, I am considered and will always remain having a profession in nursing, and that's just what it's going to be.
Hello everyone, how y'all doing? I would like to welcome you to a show that is called Cruise with Rob C, exclusively on WUBI Ubiquity Radio every Sunday afternoon from 1 to 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. My name is Rob C, and while taking your cruise, you will hear the very best in smooth jazz, smooth R&B, classic soul, as well as other genres that definitely define the very essence of smooth. I personally invite you to come aboard, and while you're here, grab your favorite beverage, turn up the volume, and have a seat as we set sail on this musical journey for your listening pleasure. You can find us at wubi.live, or depending if you have an Apple or Android device, go to your app store and download our free WUBI app. Take care, and as always, enjoy your cruise, y'all.
So I don't know where I stopped, but I'm just going to backtrack a little bit. I do apologize. I must have hit the pause button while I was recording, and it paused while I was talking. So if I repeat myself, I am so sorry. But um, yeah, so when we look at nursing, it is a profession academically, legally, clinically, and spiritually. And I think I said that we don't need Department of Education to validate what we do, what we live, how we live. Nursing is a lifestyle, it's not just a profession for many of us. And I hold true to that. So no matter what, this is who we are. So I think where I started was the moment that defines us. Yes, the moment that defines us. The moment that I became someone's safe space was the moment that defined it for me. And this patient, I was with a student who was with me. And as I said, I think I was talking and wasn't recording, but it was such a good conversation I was having with me in the room, and nothing was being recorded. But anyways, um, the moment I became someone's safe space, I remember this very vividly. It's one of my fondest memories of being a nurse, and I have many of them. You know, I have many patients that I have been fond of, and been fond of me, Marsha, Irving, Michael. You know, it's just so many of them. But this patient, his name was John. No last name. I'm not going to give you his last name, and I don't even remember if it actually was John, but I'm just going to call him John. I remember he was just rough around the edges, and you know he had abdominal surgery, and pretty big surgery. Anyone who knows anything about surgeries, abdominal surgery is the worst to heal from. It's the hardest. It's got the most complications. But he had to have a dressing change, and I had a student who was precepting with me, and so we had to change his bandage, and he just looked at me and he said to me, he said, "Can you pray before we do it?" And I was like, "Okay." The student with me was like, "I don't know what to do." And then, I said, you don't have to do anything." I said, I can do it. And so I, laid my hands over his wounds and just kind of said a nice, soft prayer for him and to him, and began to change the dressing on his wound. And in that, afterwards, he said to me, "Thank you." And he held my hand. And he said, "You have healing hands." No one has ever said that to me. I have healing hands. They said my hands were cold, but healing hands, that stuck with me. That was powerful for me. And I think that was one of the defining moments for me that I was doing what I was called to do. Fast forward probably a few months, I take the girls to a powwow locally in our area. And as you guys, those of you who know me know, I'm all about culture, sharing culture, experiencing new culture, learning new things. So we go to this powwow, and there's John. He was giving blessings, and apparently he was a member of one of the local tribes there in New York. And see, this is where you just can't go by the book and what the cover looks like, okay? Because to me, you couldn't tell me that wasn't a Eastern European white man, okay? But He was, and he was offering blessings at the powwow. And he said to me, he saw me, he gave me the biggest hug, and I was like so grateful to him. And he just like, can I give you a blessing? Absolutely, you can. Absolutely. So he gave me a blessing, and he gave me this green citrine turtle, and I still have it. It sits in my car. Um, it was a necklace, but the rope came off. So now it travels with me from place to place, and it's in my car, and I still have it with me, and it's the greatest thing that anyone has ever given to me, and I so value it, and will continue to value it. So when you look at it, we had a shared language, but not a shared background, not a shared culture. But he trusted me instantly, not because of my scrubs, not because I had a stethoscope around my neck, not because my badge said something like RN, but because of my presence, my assessment, my skill, my ability to care for him. That right there, that's my profession. And not everyone can do that, because not everyone can be a nurse. People have tried and they've come out and said it's not my thing, because it's not for everybody. And if you're going into nursing for a mere paycheck, I often tell students, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You'll get burned out really quickly. Yeah, the pay is going to be great for you, but you're going to burn out really quickly. And for those of us going in for teachers, you're going to get burned out quickly too. And you're definitely not going into teaching for a paycheck. You're going in because you love to teach, you want to educate. That's why I still do it. And I'm not practicing. I don't practice. I'm not practicing because I can't. I'm not practicing because I enjoy teaching. And that's where my passion has led me, is to teaching. So for me, that is a professionalism. Now, the day the textbooks became real, Lord, the day the textbooks became real, there was a moment during clinical when I had to make a judgment call in clinical. There was no instructor watching. There was no CNA, PCT in the room. Just me, my skills, my training, and the patient that needed me to act and needed me to know what to do. My decisions, my decisions changed their outcome. And that's powerful. That's professionalism. Teaching students, right, to take up space. As an educator, whether you're educating in nursing or educating in gen ed classrooms, whatever, as a teacher, as an educator, I have watched students walk into the room and be so unsure of themselves, questioning everything, every thought, every move, question their very existence, whispering their questions, shrinking their expertise, right? Because they feel like they don't know. And maybe they've had an educator in their past that made them feel like they didn't know. And I've watched them grow. I've watched them learn. I've watched them build on that confidence. I asserting their knowledge and advocating fearlessly, fearlessly for their patients. That's evolution. That's transformation. That is the outcome of a professional discipline. Yeah. Think about that for a second. I'm gonna take a break. But wait, before I take a break, let me give you a affirmation that just came to me. I am part of a profession rooted in science, compassion, and power. That's the affirmation. And I think this is the affirmation I used when I did my spoken word for DMP, at least part of it, because I am rooted in science. I am part of a profession rooted in science, compassion, and power. That's the affirmation. I carry knowledge that saves lives and wisdom and that heals the spirit. Yeah. I want you to repeat those. Whether you're a nurse, whether you're an educator, it doesn't matter. Repeat those. Hold those to yourself. Okay. With that, we're going to take a commercial break real quick.
I am the Alpha Male.
I am Benjamin Grimm, and we host
From a Queen's Perspective,
The Seasoned Gentleman.
the host of the Love Jones Cafe.
we are the Love Jones Cafe.
The Love Jones Cafe.
We are the Love Jones Cafe.
Love Jones, Love Jones, Love Jones, Love Jones.
Hey everyone, Dr. Diana Collins here with The Soulful Eclectic, a podcast about being your authentic self and maintaining your health and wellness, brought to you by Divine Nubian Essentials, Love the Skin You're In, and also Collins Education Resource Management, where healthcare education is our passion. If you're looking for a new read, check out our friend Reggie Dupree in Hoodoo Heaven, Return to Hoodoo, and Mystical Midlife Mate, because everything is happening in Hoodoo, brought to you by WUBI Ubiquity Radio and TV. If you have not downloaded your app on Roku or Apple or Google Play, do so right away. The Soulful Eclectic can be found every Friday night, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on all your podcast streaming platforms, WUBI Ubiquity Radio and TV. So, see you soon. Namaste. Hi, guys. Welcome back. I had to go finish my late afternoon coffee. So your affirmations, right? That's where I left off, and I hope I'm not too out of sync here, but I am part of a profession rooted in science, compassion, and power. I carry knowledge that saves lives and wisdom that heals the spirit. All right, so yeah. So the work that no one sees. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes when it comes to nursing, teaching, social work, physical therapy, OT, all those professions that they're deeming not professions. There's a lot of work that goes on that no one sees. No one sees the holding hands as someone passes or someone passing away and not dying alone. No one sees that. No one sees you holding their hand as they're trying to navigate a new diagnosis that may be terminal. No one sees you holding their hand as they're taking their last breath in hospice or grimacing in pain. No one sees that. No one sees you comforting families as they've lost a loved one. No one sees you in there as you're in the ICU and you have 10 different drips going and you have to titrate these meds. No one sees you on the med surg unit when your patient has bled out and now they are fatigued and they have to use the restroom and they vasovagal out and they're passing out and you have to get them back to bed. No one sees these things. No one sees the catching of the subtle changes in the patient's condition that no one else notices, but you have the inclination that your patient is not doing so well, but you can't really put your finger on it. That metaphysical part of nursing that transforms in your body as a professional. No one sees that. No one understands it. I speak of it in class and they're like, what are you talking about, you crazy woman? No. You ever get that feeling where you don't know why you need to keep an eye on Miss Jones, even though Mrs. Jones looks like she's doing great on paper, but you get a feeling that You're going to continue to check on Miss Jones, and all of a sudden there's a change in her condition. No one else noticed that, but you did. Advocating when the room gets too loud or too quiet. No one sees that. This is a labor. It's emotional. It's clinical. It's critical. It's a lot of leadership that many of our bedside nurses don't even realize how powerful that leadership they have is. They are leaders. They use it in a different way. They're leaders in that patient's healthcare. They are leaders. They're transformational leaders. As I said, this is a labor. This is labor. It's emotional. I can't tell you how many times I've cried with patients, for patients, over patients. To this day, I can think of situations that I've cried for with patients. I've had the blessings to help a nurse's mother transition. And by transition, I mean pass away. She trusts us enough to bring her mother for us to take care of her as she goes home to glory. Yes, it's emotional. And yes, it's very clinical. You got to think on your feet constantly. As much as they want to give AI power to tell us what to do, build all these algorithms and, give us all these bells and whistles to help guide us and tell us what to do. These computers are not telling us what to do. The computers is only good as the information that we as nurses input into it. So if we don't know what it is that we are doing, that computer could kill somebody. It ain't gonna kill me, but it can kill somebody. That's what people don't get. It's a profession, and only nurses can perform it. We're professionals, we're leaders. We are the gatekeepers of safety. I can't tell you, I have this t-shirt, and I've never worn it because I just loved it, and actually have it framed. And one, I don't wear it because it's pink and green, and I know there's a sorority that has pink and green. I'm not going to try to guess which one and remember because I don't want to get it wrong, but it's just not for me, right? So the t-shirt that I framed, it says, "Be kind to nurses because they keep the doctors from killing you." And that's no disrespect to my doctors. It honestly isn't. We're a team. And I think it's honest for us to say and to identify that, yes, there's been nurses who have caught some errors by physicians, residents who've been up for hours and they make a mistake in their titration, physicians who've been on shift for hours, multiple surgeries, and they're tired, okay? It's the nurses that have been, hey, you sure you want to give Mr. Jones that? You want to take a look at that? That dose may be a little too high. Now, mind you, there's sometimes the dose is high because we got to give loading doses and there's all these things. Yes, I get that. But sometimes it's a catch. And we as nurses have to be bold enough to stand up and say, I think you want to look at that. Now, mind you, some of our newer nurses, they may not open their mouths, and you get few that are overly confident and will assert themselves, and I am so proud of them for doing that. But let's take it in stride. But there are some that are timid and won't identify it. But if you see an error, we speak on it. So we've saved quite a few lives based on the errors that we've caught from physicians. So yeah, there's that. We're the gatekeepers of safety. And I stand by that. So getting back on the topic of the Department of Education, what does this mean for nurses today? So this Department of Education stance lands differently depending on where you are in your nursing journey. For nursing students, you're already fighting through clinicals, exams, financial stress, and self-doubt. You don't deserve to question your legitimacy of your degree on top of that. You don't need that added stress. This is stressful enough. So why would you want to do that to put another roadblock in for these students who are already dealing with so many bumps in their road? Okay? Why would you do that? The working nurses. Okay, we're already exhausted. Emotionally, physically, spiritually, we're just done. Okay, we've gone through COVID, and now we're dealing with this shit. We're tired. Yes, I said shit. Okay, yes, we're tired. We're exhausted. We're emotionally, spiritually, and physically just beat down from living in a system that already stretches us way too thin. You can see through us. That's how thin we've been stretched. We don't deserve this. No, we don't deserve this ridicule. Let me call it what it is. We don't deserve this erasure of who we are as a profession. For those of us who are advanced practice providers and educators, we've earned those degrees. I'm going to tell you, I earned my DNP. It is not an honorary degree. No one gave me this because I've done all these philanthropical endeavors, and that's not to demean anyone and their philanthropy and all that. But my doctorate is not an honorary doctorate. It's something I've earned through blood, sweat, tears, nights of rewriting my research paper, doing literary reviews, and no, I earned that degree. We all earned that degree. We've earned degrees, we've earned certifications, and the scholarly knowledge equal to any recognized profession. We deserve that acknowledgement. And as for the profession as a whole, this right here is a moment for us to come together and unify. It really is. For us to advocate. And when we cut together in numbers, we can make some changes. I've seen it with NISNA. We've seen it. We've witnessed it in just the progression of our profession alone. We've taken it from being a diploma program to being an associate's degree to now you need BSN to be as entry to practice, and now you need a doctorate to entry to practice. Listen, we've watched the trajectory of the growth of our profession. Okay. So as a profession as a whole, this is a moment for us to continue to unify, for us to continue to advocate for policy involvement, right? For speaking up in ways we weren't always encouraged to. Join our legislation. If you have not joined a nursing association, no matter where you are in the grand scheme of things, I encourage you to do so. I encourage my nursing students all the time. Join a nursing association at this student level. One, is cheaper. I'm just going to say that. It is cheaper. Two, it allows you to build those areas of networking. It allows you to strengthen your knowledge and awareness of what it is as a profession. It gives you that opportunity to seek employment. There are job opportunities that are offered during with the nursing associations. As you develop what it is that you want to specialize in, you have nursing associations for those specific specialties as well. And I encourage you to join those. If you know where it is you want to go, like I have a lot of students who want to go into the NICU or go into ICU. So I tell them, then join that nursing association. Start building those networks. start growing in your knowledge and your scholarly awareness of what it is that's going to drive you in those professions, right? So, yeah, I encourage you to speak up in ways that, again, we weren't encouraged to. This is me speaking up. I rarely speak on things that are happening politically. Not saying that it doesn't affect me, because a lot of things that is happening affects me politically. But I think this one too is something that I I feel I can speak to a little more clearly. That, if that makes sense. Because I know there's a lot of things that politically that happen that honestly I don't feel like I can really speak to a lot of it in a educated way. Like, I can do my research, I can do my homework, of course, and I have done. But to have that conversation, yeah, some things I will pass on. But this one, I just really felt like it really did hit home, as you all well know. With that, so what else do I want to share with this? I'm hoping I didn't break up too much in it. When I was talking and doing some stuff. So I know I paused it a couple of times, and I do apologize. There was a lot going on, but yes. So so we have that. We have that. So my mantras, right? This is my thing that I'm sharing with you guys. I've never shared it with you before, but this season, I've just been sharing my mantras and my affirmations with you guys this season, and I'm loving it. I'm loving the feedback. I'm loving you guys sharing that you're using the journal prompts and things like that. So thank you for that. Thank you. I appreciate that, because they mean a lot to me, and I use them myself, and I share them with you. So yeah, I'm just gonna close out in a minute and just share some mantras with you. So right now, this one, my work is my work is professional. My impact is undeniable. My voice shapes the future. Say it with your chest. My work is professional. My impact is undeniable. My voice shapes the future. Mm. Some other affirmations that I'll share with you. I please share, if you keep it for yourself, share it with your colleagues. If you're teaching, share it with your students. I'm one of those people that would share affirmations and guidance on the board before class start. I zen everybody out, but leave your troubles at the door today. I need your mind here with me, kind of thing. But the first couple of affirmations that I gave you before we went to break and we came back, I'm part of a profession. What was it? I'm part of a profession rooted in science, compassion, and power. I carry knowledge that saves lives and wisdom that heals spirits. No institution defines my worth. My practice does. I stand with millions who transform healthcare every day. I am educated. I am skilled. I am a professional. Those are my mantras I share with you. What we carry forward. Respect cannot be demanded from systems that, one, are antiquated, that were not built with you in mind. With you and me, it definitely wasn't built with me in mind. But we can't respect. Respect cannot be demanded from systems that were not built with me in mind, with anyone that looks like me in mind, whether that's a Black, whether that's a woman. You can't imagine, all right? Whether that's socioeconomic whether class, whatever, but it can be redefined by the communities that we empower, right? Respect cannot be demanded from systems that were not built for us in mind, but it can be redefined by the communities that we empower, that you can empower. If the world tries to shrink nursing, nurses must expand and scream louder. That's why advocacy, joining a nursing organization, and being a part of the nursing legislature is huge. If the world tries to shrink nursing, nurses must expand and speak louder. Every shift, every lecture, every mentorship moment is evidence of professionalism in action. And I've mentored many individuals. I've been mentored and continue to be mentored by professional nurses. Nursing has survived wars. We've survived pandemics, politics, and patriarchy. It will survive this too. So don't get discouraged, please, because they're counting on you being discouraged. They're counting on me cowering down. I will not. Don't let it take your voice. Let it reshape it. Let it build it. Let it make it louder. That's how we change that. So when institutions mislabel us, they reveal their misconceptions, not our limitations, because we are only as limited as we allow ourselves to be. And I will not be limited. Not at all. And I'm not just saying that because I have my degree. Please don't get that twisted, okay? Because people say, well, you got your degree. You have nothing to worry about. That's untrue. I have sustainability of my degree to worry about, and the fact that it counts and what I need to do to maintain the level of professionalism in my degree, it does. And believe me, nursing was my calling, is my passion. And I'll figure it out by any means necessary. So no, I don't just say this callously because I hold a degree. No. My daughter's going into nursing school. We're all thinking of how we're going to band together to get her through. It may take a village. It may take you piecemealing it. For me, it took me piecemealing it. It did. I didn't have financial aid in the beginning when I did my nursing degree. When I got my RN, I did not use financial aid. Okay? I had to pay out of pocket, and I know many nurses who do that. So if it's your passion, there's a possibility. It may take a little longer to get to your goal, but it can happen. So I don't say these things callously, not thinking of the socioeconomic impact that it will place on many individuals who are trying to attain their degrees. I get it. I see it. I understand it. So some reflection questions for all of you. And these are reflection questions that I use and I've written down in my journal. What moment in your nursing journey made you say, this is who I am? This is my calling. I told you one of mine, and I have a couple of really good ones, but they're all good. I don't want to say like one's really good. No, they're all really good. But there's been quite a few defining moments, and it usually comes in a time when I'm questioning whether or not this is something that is meant for me and should I stay. I always get a sign that solidifies that this is what I need to be doing. The other one, does the Department of Education stance trigger frustrations and sadness and motivations within us, or is it a mix bag of feelings. And then and why? I know for me it did. It didn't trigger frustration. It triggered sadness for me. It triggered sadness and motivation to stand taller, to make my voice louder. Remember I said they changing us to speak louder? Nah, this is how we speak louder. So yeah, I would say it's more sadness and motivation. What can you do? You, big, small, whatever. What can you do to advocate for the legitimacy of nursing? Or whatever or if your degree is one of the other degrees too, because I started because I can only speak to nursing, but let's talk about it. Let's think about that. What can you do, big or small, to advocate for the legitimacy of nursing, the legitimacy of education, the legitimacy of social work, physical therapy, occupation, all those degrees that they were saying are not professional? What can you do, big or small, to advocate for the legitimacy of that profession? And how can we support each other? Because we're all in this little bag of you're not valued together. So how can we support each other emotionally, professionally through this devaluing moments that we are experiencing? And the last reflection question, what does professional identity mean to you? Is it just that you're seen in scrubs? What does it mean to you? If you would like to share, definitely reach out to me on my podcast webpage, Instagram webpage. Yeah, I would love to hear that. I would love to hear that. So thank you all for joining me today on the Soulful Eclectic. Thank you to all my sponsors who take the time out to come on the podcast to share with us. I appreciate you all. Uh, Thank you to all of you who listen. And of course, thank you to my fellow nurses, educators, physical therapy, social workers, all of the above. You are the utmost professional, and I want you to keep being that professional. I know we see on social media, TikTok, and everybody's like, if I'm not a professional, then, they do something that's very I don't want to say it's inappropriate because it's for entertainment purposes, but I am utmost a professional at all times. This is my job. This is what I do. Yeah, I get on here. I may say a few choice words. At the end of the day, you catch me out in the classroom, you catch me out in the clinical, you're going to get nothing but the utmost professional person. I can have fun. I can tee-hee, ha, laugh, and crack a joke with anyone. And because that's me, I enjoy who I am. I love life. But I'm still a professional at the end of the day, and I can definitely provide you with that. So, yeah, I don't want that to get lost with all the things that's happening. I don't want the silliness of mockery of what has been said by the Department of Education devalue anyone. And I don't want to take away that either and saying that you can't do a mocking. No. I love the mocking of our profession. Our profession. Are you kidding me? I get a kick out of it. I applaud you all because I can't do it. I mean, I probably could, but it just doesn't look the same for me being silly like that. It suits individuals, and I find entertainment in it. So keep doing what we're doing. Keep using your voice. Say it loud. Talk to the legislation. American Nursing Association, NISNA, all those nursing associations, wherever you live in your state, you should be on their webpage and just seeing what it is that they're doing and voting and signing and doing all those things. So if this episode or any of the episodes spoke to you, please share it with anyone who think you feel may find value in it, and reflect back at them, right? Use your prompts in your journal. I love it. I'm glad to share it. Your mantras that I left with you. Definitely you have that. Remember, no matter what any institution says, you know who you are. You know what you bring to the table. And together, nurses rise, nurses lead. We're transformational. We are change agents. Until next time, namaste.